Well, ladies and gents, it's time to wake up the neighbors. Taking the Corvette out for a little ride this morning. And we have a little project we're going to work on that's going to stop you hearing that ticking noise from those lifters or injectors or whatever it is. If you own a C8, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's the ticking sound you hear, mostly I would imagine in the coupe more than the convertible. That's right in your right ear. You know, it's the engine behind you, and it's lifters, I've heard it's injectors. I hear it's completely normal, it's just the way the engine sounds. But it's quite annoying because when you're in a car like this, you want to hear the engine, you want to hear the exhaust, but you don't want to hear something that sounds, you know, cheap or that there's something wrong with the car. And to me, that's sort of what it sounds like. It just sounds like something's wrong with the car. So what I did was I put a camera over my shoulder here, right on the glass. We're gonna take some video with that while I ride up to the local Starbucks here to see if we can get the noise to, you know, kind of be heard on camera. And then we're gonna do a procedure where we put sound deadening in the portion above my head here. So we take the roof off the car, we take the panel behind that off, you put sound deadening materials on both the underside of the panel and on the car itself. And apparently that muffles the noise enough that you don't hear it anymore. So we're gonna do that mod today and we're gonna see if it works. Now I could totally hear the ticking noise. I'm hoping it's coming up on the camera as well. You know, I'm just doing normal speeds. This is nothing crazy. You can kind of hear it in all RPM ranges, pretty much at all times, whether you're in 4-cylinder mode, 8-cylinder mode. It's just a constant noise of the engine. So I'm gonna drive a little bit further, just try to capture that noise. And then once we do the fix to it, or the mod, we will come back out, we'll drive the same area and we'll see if it sounds any different. Every single time I go to Starbucks, I regret it because their cups are horrible. The fact that you can just move a little bit and it leaks all over the place is insane. I mean, it's got the lid on it, it's got the little stopper in there, and still it will leak and drip all over your car. I'm really hoping this works. It was a good find. Corey that I work with was kind of going through the forum, the Corvette forum. He found this post, which talked all about it. I haven't found much else other than that, so we're gonna give it a shot. And if it does work, I'll post this video up in that chain, because I'm thinking a lot of people with the Corvette Coupe are gonna wanna do this. So we're gonna get back to the garage, we'll pull it in, and we will see, we'll see how we make out. Okay, we're in the garage. I already took the top off. I stowed it away in the back so it's safe. We wiped up all the coffee that's spilt, and now we're gonna start removing this piece right here. This is the part that we're taking off. Once we take this off, we're gonna sound deaden the bottom portion that this covers and also the underside of this piece. This is the sound deadening I bought it off Amazon. It was 22 bucks. I bought it in a roll. It's like a peel and stick, you know, maybe 1/4 inch. Sound deadening material. It gets good reviews. It says it's very easy to work with. So I'll put the link down below on Amazon for this product. We got a couple of pry tools here. We got a T15 Torx head bit, and we got a 7mm socket. And that's pretty much all you're gonna need for this project. Now, if we look underneath the back here, you're going to see 7mm socket bolts. Actually, let's get the light down here. You're gonna see 7mm socket bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 6 are gonna have to come off. You're also gonna have to pry back this weather stripping like I did here, which is gonna expose the T15 Torx head bits. I believe there's 6 of them there. And then if we lift up this little piece of rubber here, you're gonna see there's one there as well. And I'm assuming there's one on that side. So I think total maybe like 12 to 14 bolts have to come off. Once we take those off, we'll be careful. We'll see if there's any other clips or anything like that. And then we'll start applying the sound deadening. We already got the first 4 out, super easy to do. I recommend get yourself a shorter 7mm. I originally had the long one. The long one doesn't clear the top of the lift gate. These are super easy to take off. You know, you put it on a couple quick turns, maybe like three or four half turns, and then you can literally get in there with your fingers and just unscrew it from there. I have a little magnetic bowl there to put them all in to keep them safe. It was 6 bolts in the back. We got all those out. Now we're gonna do the ones in the front. I'm starting with the ones that are under the weather stripping here. Again, very easy to take out, no problem at all. We're gonna lay these in the cup holder. Do the opposite side. Here we go. Now we're sort of just gonna pry back the weather stripping here. It's coming off pretty easy. As long as it's clearing this section, it should be fine. Now once we take all these out, this will lift right off. So grab the other side, just like this. There we go. Now we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Remove those. Now that I have all these completely loose, I'm just gonna take this whole black piece off, just like that, and I'm gonna move it over. Let's make sure we don't lose this one here. I'm gonna place it over here. This way I know when I get back, I'm just gonna pick it up and I'm gonna put it right back on the exact same way. So we'll do that, and now this will just be free. There we go. First thing I'm gonna do here is just clean this off with some rubbing alcohol. This way, if there's anything on there, you know, that would stop the sound deadening material from adhering good, we'll hopefully eliminate that. So we'll wipe this down nice. We're gonna let it dry fully, and then we're gonna apply first to here, and then I might not apply it to the underside of that panel I took off, because the sound deadening is like 1/4 inch thick. So I don't know if that would be too much or too thick, and then the piece isn't gonna sit right. So we're gonna put it on here first, set the piece back on, see how it fits, see what kind of clearances we have, and then at that point I'll decide, do I want to put it on the underside of that panel as well. But I'm thinking we might just put it on the portion here. The first layer of sound deadening is all installed. It's very easy to work with. What I will say is if you buy the stuff that I'm using, you're gonna want to cut it with scissors. When you cut it with a razor blade, it kind of gets chopped up. But in my opinion, it doesn't have to be perfect here because it's getting covered up anyway. I just covered this whole section across the top. I'm now gonna put the piece back on, just see if there's clearance, which there should be. And then I think I'm even gonna put some along the back here and maybe on top of here, because all this stuff is covered as well, just to increase the sound deadening. You know, maybe make it that much more useful in a sense. It fits on there with no issues whatsoever. I'm not gonna add any to the underside of the panel itself, but I am gonna put some behind where these pieces are covered up. This way, there's a little extra material in there, and then we're gonna go for a ride and we're gonna see what it sounds like, and hopefully this stops me from hearing the ticking in the car, because that's the ultimate goal here. Finished product. I'm all set, I'm all done. I did add some pieces strategically along the back here. Now when I put the cover back on, everything fits perfect. All the bolt holes, everything sits flush. This piece is cut short, so it's not like the little flange piece that gets bolted down is not on top of this. It's all set behind it. So we should be good to go. We're gonna button everything back up by reversing how we took everything off. So first thing, let's grab this and put this back on, which we're just gonna back it in first, like that, and then set it in place. I'm gonna put this piece on next, which I have right here. Again, super easy. Lift up, move over, and it's gonna go on the same way that we had taken it off. When you pull these bolts back in, what I recommend you do is just kind of finger tighten all of them before you tighten everything down fully, just to make sure everything's sitting correctly once you get all of the bolts back into place. We reversed the process, put everything back in, finger tightened first, then we secured everything down. We didn't forget the two that are behind that little weather stripping thing, and that's it. The panel's back on. One thing I could tell you, you could already hear the difference just tapping on this, because earlier I was doing that and it sounded very hollow. And that's the thought process. The thought process is the noise from the engine is coming up in here, it's echoing through this little chamber, whereas now with that sound deadening in there, hopefully it quiets that down. We're gonna hop in a car, we're gonna go for a ride, and we're gonna find out for sure. I'm just driving down the block, first ride in the car since we put this sound deadening in, and you can still hear the ticking. However, it does sound a little muffled. It'll be interesting to see with the camera here how it picks it up in the before and after. So I'm gonna kind of cruise around the same way I drove before. You guys can be the judge on what your thoughts are based on what you hear through the camera. Again, you definitely still hear the ticking. However, it does sound maybe a little quieter than it was earlier. I just spent some time editing that video, and what I realized is it's very hard to hear the sound difference between the before and after. So you're gonna have to take my word for it. The ticking is there when you drive the car. You could probably hear it in some of the footage. Once I went back out and drove again with the sound deadening that I put in, you can still hear it. It's maybe slightly quieter, but it's there. And it's not what I expected based on the post in the Corvette forum where the gentleman said like it's completely gone. Now there's a big factor involved here in that I used like a peel and stick foam style sound deadening, which was like 22 bucks for that whole roll. He used a rubberized sound deadening material with an aluminum backing, which is also on Amazon, and it's like triple the price. So what I have to do now to kind of feel good about myself and me trying to solve this problem, which I think is an issue, is I'm gonna rip out everything I did today. I'm gonna get the sound deadening that they used in the actual post, redo it all, and make a follow-up update video once it's done to see if that product makes the ultimate difference. So subscribe to the channel and hang out and wait for that video. It's on the way.